Everybody's got something they love to do, so what makes the world go round for you?
The Mixed Messages book has been a magical creative journey for me. In honor of the premiere episode of Mixin It Up, I wanted to create something that would set the pulse of the show while showing you exactly what I mean by mixed media. I also wanted to document and journal the days leading up to this first episode. Over the past 30 days, I have created this artful and art-filled 4-signature hand-bound book. I challenged myself to employ as many mixed media techniques as possible, and there are over 30 so far. First, let me say I love books, all books. I love the words in them, the fonts used to print them, the paper they are printed on. I love old books and new books, and I especially love handmade books. And I have had this little love affair with books all my life. About 10 years ago, I discovered the very magical world of sculptural hand-bound books, and I have been smitten, and I have been creating them ever since. One of my favorite books to make is a book that journals an event or a journey. And that is what this book is, a journal of a very special journey into my own television show. So let's take a little journey through the pages. The cover is pretty blinged out, as you see. It's a mix of textiles, fibers, techniques, and media. The fabric collage is topped with a heart made with oil pastels and a calligraphy title, Mixed Messages, the name of the show. There are several fabrics, lace, velvet, and a bit of expensive bullion trim that wraps the foredge. I love this trim. Bought it a few years ago and never had anything to do with it, and now I know exactly what it was for. The inside front cover has fibers created with a free motion sewing machine embroidery technique. You sandwich fibers between 2 sheets of water-soluble interfacing. You do a free motion embroidery is done over the entire surface with clear thread to hold the fibers invisibly. Then you soak the piece in water to remove the interfacing, and voila! There is more calligraphy on hand-painted paper backed by handmade metallic paper. The first page has a collage created from the handmade papers that announces we are on a journey. If you turn the page, you'll see it has a sketch of a face, one of my favorite things to do, and this was done in graphite. It's held in place by a found object, this little marbled heart earring. This page shows more handmade paper with a tiny envelope made of vellum. Inside the envelope is an antique key with a special message tucked inside. I used some of my very own stationery that's embossed to tell the people that look at this book who created it. You can see that I have journaled about the process on the paper signatures inside, and each one of these paper signatures is wrapped with a fabric canvas piece that's painted. Next we come to an ATC, artist trading card, that was made from several collage techniques. A very special one that I will share with you this year is called the Never Dull technique. It's held in place with coiled copper wire. Then we turn the page to find a corset made with my paper quilt piecing technique. Yes, those are tiny 1/4 inch squares of paper cut and arranged on a piece of cardstock and glued. and I will absolutely share this technique on the spring show in April. So stay tuned for that. And it also has some girly girl stamping on it too. I love, love, love to place a book within a book. And you will see that this one is all about Paris. You'll find, as you get to know me, that I am a Francophile. I studied art in France and in Italy, and I love all things French and Italian. You will see that influence all throughout my art. Next, you see one of my angel paintings that has been printed out on tap or transfer artist paper. It's been glazed and sewn to the page with a sewing machine. On this page is a simple stencil and a stamped dream, for this is truly all about dreams. On this spread, I did some faux finishing techniques with metallic paints and stencils. I love, love, love that damask design. Isn't it beautiful? Next, I sewed a lace doily that's been in my family for a long, long time, and it's in the shape of a heart. So I stamped open across it, and it invites the viewer to open it. And once open, you see my signature closing, the XOXOX that I always include on almost everything I write. On this spread, you see a drawing of a face within a body that says "Go Within." I used transfer artist paper again to get the image onto the fabric. It was then sewn and collaged with marble paper and handmade papers. And you can see that the face is in the yellow part and the figure is the blue part. I love to do that. On this side, you see another pocket that was hand sewn on the page with embellishments of beads. In the pocket is a polymer clay figure that was embossed with rubber stamps. It was baked and then it was burnished to polish. The back reads Soul. Also in the pocket is my logo for Mixing It Up, because that's what it's all about, the journey of this show. Turn the page and you will find one of my favorite new discoveries, Tyvek for art. And if you don't know what Tyvek is, it's that really strong, fibrous paper that you find on the envelopes from the U.S. Postal Service, the priority mail envelopes. I created this woven piece after I painted the Tyvek, and then I heated it so it would crumple up. And that's a technique that we will surely be showing you several times over the next year. Here you see bubbles. I love bubbles, and I have always, always hidden a bubble in every artwork or every mural or every painting that I ever did. It's kind of my signature thing. So I had to include bubbles in this book just to celebrate. Next, you'll see another metallic stencil of a flower. Stenciling never gets far from me. On this page, you see a drawing done by one of my students in the Art of Doodle Portrait classes. In her hair, she wrote, "Ready for a haircut," so you can see her sense of humor. This was absolutely the first drawing of a face she ever did. And this piece is held in place with bead embroidery and again some more coiled copper wire. On the next page, you see my sense of humor as I show you this heavy embossed metal encased in pearls. The metal is a found object that I embossed further, and it is all about the mixed messages. The pearls set against the heavy metal is kind of a metaphor for this show. The darkness, the lightness, the mixed messages, the mixed media. That's what it's all about. And the next page is about lightness, as the central image is a feather. I found this little feather on the beach while I was creating this book and getting ready for the show. And my grandfather always said that if you find a feather in your path, your guardian angel left it for you. So this feather is collaged with machine stitches over several handmade papers. And the bottom paper is a paste paper. And we will also see that technique sometime over the next few months. And this page has another angel painting that's held in place with beads which I strung on a very secure string. And that is a beautiful technique that I love, and I will definitely be sharing that with you. She's painted with watercolor pencils and has a stamped message below her. Another pocket on this side holds a very secret wish that I have for the show and for my guests and for my viewers. It's a very special secret wish that I hold deep in my heart. The next page holds one of my recycled quilt hearts that I absolutely love. I hated to cut this quilt apart, but it has made so many people happy when I have made them these little hearts or little ornaments with them. And it's hand embroidered with the edges, and it has an antique button in the middle of it. So I've kind of gotten over cutting that quilt apart in the first place. The very last page of the book has the painting you can see over my shoulder on the set here at Mixing It Up, and the sentiment that dreams really do come true. This page has a light molding paste stencil that I did and a beautiful lace trim that I love. Let me show you the binding of this book because it's very special. It was all the 4 signatures were bound and hand sewn with waxed linen thread through the lace and the velvet, and beads were used to embellish the spine. And these are very special beads that I got on a very special trip. Turquoise and other semi-precious beads were used here because this is very precious to me. And one more thing I wanted to share with you, and I told you I love Tyvek, is the Tyvek beads that I made for the front. It's a really fun technique that I will definitely share with you sometime this season. And there's also a polymer clay tag that says art, and a heart that's hanging from it, another semi-precious gem. After the show, I plan to create a page for each one of my guests that was on the show today, and also about the Cool2Craft Network, so I can remember this day forever. From bead embroidery to free motion embroidery, from sketches to miniature paintings, from paper quilting to found objects, this book embraces my love of all media. I hope I have given you just a tiny glimpse of what Mixing It Up with Rebecca is all about. This book was a true labor of love for me. Every stitch, every bead, every movement of my brush took me on a creative journey. And this is the journey that I hope that you will take with me as we go on mixing it up throughout this next year. Hope you liked the book as much as I did. And I hope you enjoyed the book as much as I enjoyed creating it for you for this first episode of Mixing It Up with Rebecca.